Next on Worcester News Tonight, opening day for the Worcester Bravehearts. Tonight, we'll take you to Hanover Insurance Park for a recap. Plaza Middle School student under investigation. Police say he's accused of making threats against his school. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Andrioli. Baseball season makes its way back to Worcester as the Bravehearts opened their season Friday night. A sold-out crowd of over 3,000 gathered at Hanover Insurance Park as the team took on the Bristol Blues in their first game of the year. Our Cam Jandro caught up with fans on the concourse and has the story.
The unofficial start to summer. Baseball makes its way back to Worcester.
Play ball!
Friday night, the Bravehearts kicked off their fourth season in the city. Fans in the stands say they're glad to see baseball back in Worcester for another year.
I think we've all been ready for it since the snow was falling over the winter, and great to see a sellout crowd tonight too. So,
like all 4 years I've been coming, and I like baseball, so it's local and it's fun. So.
Thousands packed into Hanover Insurance Park to see the Bravehearts face the Blues in their season opener. After only 3 seasons, some believe the team has become a mainstay here in central Massachusetts.
I'm very happy for baseball to be back in the city. I've always come here to watch when the Tornadoes are here and everything. I'm a big baseball fan. Bravehearts are great. Now we have the Realists coming in, so sports is a really big thing for Worcester.
After winning the FCBL title in their first 2 seasons, the Bravehearts fell short in the championship series last year. Friday, fans had predictions of their own on how the team would do this season.
They're gonna win it. They're gonna win.
They're gonna win. They got this.
I think they're gonna win.
I think they're going to go all the way again this year, hopefully.
I think they're gonna win, hopefully.
You think they're going to win all the way?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Now, this is just game 1 of 56 the Bravehearts will play all regular season, 28 of which will be played right here at Hanover Insurance Park at Fitton Field. Kevin Shea will have a full recap of tonight's home opener later on in sports. In Worcester, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
Well, baseball's back, and so is Worcester's Albanian Festival this weekend. Tonight, members of St. Mary's Assumption Albanian Orthodox Church kicked off the weekend festival this evening. The festival runs tonight until Sunday. It features traditional Albanian foods, dancing, and music. Heritage Street Mary's volunteers grilled up some traditional Albanian foods tonight. As you can see, they were very busy. They're expecting to feed 10,000 people over the course of the weekend. Festival Chairman Greg Stephan says they're looking forward to welcoming everyone to the festival this weekend.
We have a couple of singers and bands that are from Albania that you wouldn't find anywhere else other than here in Worcester. We also have all different types of ethnic foods. I mean, that's kind of the specialty. That's kind of what goes on. So various restaurants are making daily dinner specials for us. Well, we made 2,000 pounds of lamb, so we're going to make lamb shish kebab. We have, I don't know how many pounds of sausage the guys made the other day. It's just an unbelievable amount of food. I mean, we're going to feed 10,000 people for the weekend, so.
Makes you hungry just looking at it. And the festival runs until midnight tonight and Saturday as well, and Sunday from noon to 7, so be sure to head over and grab one of those shish kebabs. The city of Worcester vowing to battle climate change. Today, Mayor Joe Petty signed a pledge to uphold the Paris Agreement after Trump's controversial decision to pull out of the international agreement. City Manager Ed Augustus said in a release, the city is already making investments in green technology and initiatives that will pay off for both taxpayers and the environment. Those include solar panels at the largest solar panel farm seen here in Worcester, and that's the largest solar farm in New England, and the city will flip the switch this summer at that farm to capture energy for residents. Solar panels have also been installed on the roofs of 8 Worcester public school buildings. Worcester Police make an arrest outside of a neighborhood crime watch meeting. The meeting was discussing residents' concerns on things like open-air drug dealing. That's when the officers discovered one happening right in front of them. Rosalind Flaherty has this story.
At a neighborhood crime watch meeting, members of the Worcester Police response team see something they are trying to prevent.
While that meeting was taking place, in the doorway The officers were about 12 feet away from the two individuals in the doorway, and there appeared to be some kind of commotion, a minor argument.
Police say they overheard what appeared to be a drug deal at the Pleasant Street Neighborhood Network Center. A 58-year-old woman was talking to a 48-year-old male when she handed him money.
He went away for about a minute. He came back. He gave her a small plastic bag with a substance inside.
Officers approached the woman and found she had a bag of crack cocaine in her hand. Police say they searched the male and found 15 packets of a painkiller he didn't have a prescription for. They also found a bag of crack cocaine, more than $400, and 2 cell phones.
Honestly, I just think that's crazy. I would never think of something like that. Wow.
Shame on them for not looking around, but, you know, good thing for the cops, you know, cleaning up the community.
Police arrested both individuals, ironically, at a meeting where residents were discussing the issue of open-air drug dealing.
It's kind of funny that that happened right behind them as they were complaining about it. So luckily it was a quick cleanup of that particular problem.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The suspects in this week's Auburn police chase were back in court today for a dangerousness hearing. Marquise Mitchell is being held without bail for resisting arrest and leading police on a multi-town chase. Police say Mitchell had drugs and a handgun and appeared to be under the influence at the time of his arrest. He's due back in court June 26th. A local middle school student is under investigation. Douglas police say a 14-year-old boy is accused of making threats against his school. Our Brittany Schaefer has the details.
Douglas police say the 14-year-old boy told other students during class that he was going to shoot up the school. This is something the police department and the school system says they're taking seriously.
We take their safety very seriously, and we take very serious action when that safety is compromised.
2 police cruisers are in front of Douglas Middle School today after a student allegedly threatened a school shooting. The incident happened just after noon Thursday. Police Chief Patrick Foley says an investigation is underway.
He made statements to his classmates that he was planning to come back at a future date to shoot them all, that he had a hit list. He was determined that the child needed to go to the hospital for an evaluation.
Foley says no hit list has been found, but police are looking.
We're going to be looking at the iPad to see if there is a list in there. Once we get all the statements and talk to everybody involved, then we'll contact the juvenile courts to decide what charges we'll bring.
We're also very upfront in saying the investigation isn't over and that we're continuing to look into this issue. And if there are others involved, we're going to find out, and there will be consequences put in place there as well. Their safety is that important to us.
Superintendent Norman Yvonne says the mood at the middle school today was more supportive instead of somber or scared.
We are working hard to maintain that sense of support in one another, and I can see that in the kids, this morning, and in the staff throughout the day, and we will get through this very well.
Parents say the threat is surprising, but the school handled the situation properly.
Pretty sad for an eighth grader to kind of act like that. So, but I think the school handled it well. I think it's kind of a scary thing to have happen. Honestly, don't want my younger children hearing this because my daughter is supposed to go to middle school next year and I don't want her being afraid.
They're just kind of not knowing what they're saying, I think, most of the time. I don't think it was anything to be that concerned about because they were up on it right away.
Now, the Douglas Public Schools superintendent says around 11 o'clock today, the middle school held an assembly to address students and to let them know that their #1 priority is their safety. In Douglas, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
And the Douglas Public Schools did notify all parents within the system. No charges have been filed yet, but the juvenile court system has been notified. Turning now to 2 Worcester police officers receiving promotions at a small ceremony inside Worcester City Hall Friday. John Baisley was promoted from officer to sergeant. He's been on the force for 30 years. Sergeant Michael Hanlon was also promoted to the rank of lieutenant. He's a 3rd-generation officer. His dad retired as lieutenant and his grandfather was the chief in 1980. Both say they're honored to serve on the Worcester Police Department.
Obviously, a lot of work goes into these promotional exams, and I'm just honored to be a part of this department and to be able to become a lieutenant now and continue to serve this city.
Looking forward to the new challenges coming up in the future. It's another step in my career.
City Manager Ed Augustus, City Councilor Kate Toomey, and Chief Stephen Sargent presided over the ceremony. State Democrats will be coming together in Worcester tomorrow for their annual convention. Tonight, Worcester's Ballot Box Bar hosted a pre-convention eve party. The Massachusetts Correction Officers Union and the Central Mass Young Democrats were among those in attendance. Owner Guy Glotis says the convention is great for business in the city.
This is great for the city of Worcester because you have 3,000 delegates converging on the city for 48 hours. So you'll see a boost with restaurants and bars and parties. And next year will actually be bigger. Next year is the signature convention, which are the candidates that run for constitutional offices. And those conventions usually get about 5,000 delegates in attendance.
It's the first time I've been to a convention, so I'm a first-time delegate. I just think with everything that's happened this past election, I think we need to get more involved and we need to have a better say in who is our governing body.
And the convention will be held at the DCU Center tomorrow. Members will discuss party platforms and what issues they will support or oppose.